How's it, Bluetubers? This is the Blu-ray hoarder for my motherload of Criterion Haul. Over 40 titles, 42 to be exact, not including the movies in the box sets. But I have a lot to cover. Just went a little crazy with the sale. Normally, Criterions go for $40 or more, so I think I paid most of them about $20. Didn't use any coupons, so I guess if I did have coupons, I would have went a little crazier. But I pretty much over doubled my collection, my entire collection, with the sale. Finally got my last package in the other day, so it's about time that I did my haul. I didn't know what a Criterion was about a year ago. I did own one a few years back, and it was a DVD. I didn't know it was a Criterion, and that was Chasing Amy. And since then, with watching videos of the Bluetooth community, yeah, it's really got me hooked on the Criterions, as most people in the Bluetooth community have caught that bug. So, not going to make this a long video. I just want to, kind of show the titles. I don't want this to be a 2-hour long video. That would take me like 2 weeks to upload this. But if I did watch it, I'll talk about it. But I'll save most of the reviews for another time. Alright. With that out of the way, let's get started. First up is Tiny Furniture. This stars Lena Headey and see, I'm already messing up. Lena Dunham, and she stars in the HBO show Girls. This is her first films that she directed, written. Enjoyed it, much like Frances Ha. Just a girl graduated from college, and what's she gonna do with her life? A little quirkiness, but a lot of realism to it. That is Spy Number 597. This came out in 2010. Next up, Blowout. Everyone's picking this up. Early John Travolta came out in 1981. And Spy Number 562. Just John Travolta just, I guess, overhears. He's the sound guy for making soundtracks, so he overhears something and tries to solve a murder. Basically, that's Blowout. Next up, La Haine. This is just about life in the France's ghettos, starring Vincent Cassel. Came out in 1995. Spy Number 381. I did watch it. It's pretty darn good. La Haine. This completes my Wes Anderson collection, and that is Life Aquatic. I did own this on DVD, and this is an upgrade, starring Bill Murray. This came out in 2004, and this is Spy Number 300. Next up, this was recommended to me by Sweet Blues, and that is A Night to Remember, the original story of the Titanic. He says it's a better version, so I went ahead and picked this up. 1958, black and white. Spy Number 7. Next up, this I think I remember watching on TV, and it caught my attention when I watched the trailer, and that is The Walkabout. It's about a brother and sister abandoned in the Australian outback, and part of their survival. They come across Aborigine that helps them survive. So I love those type of movies. 1971, and that is Spy Number 10. Next up, Kage Musha, or Kurosawa. This is in 1980. Spy Number 267. Yeah, if you know Kurosawa, his films are classics, and I hope this is one of them. Next up, a newer film came out in 2009. This is Fish Tank, starring Michael Fassbender. So, I think it's about just maybe a little bit of a love story. Spy Number 553. Next up, In the Realm of Senses, Japanese film, 1976. Spy Number 466. And what is this about? Sex. Enough said. Danny Boyle film, Shallow Grave. This came out in 1994. Haven't heard much about it, but I guess it's a British film. Starring Ewan McGregor. My guess is that it's about accidental killing and burying them. But this is Spy Number 616. Next up, Life is Sweet, another British film, comedy. It's just pretty much a light-hearted comedy. Can't go wrong with that. 1990, and Spy Number 659. Next up is what a lot of people already have or picked up, and that is 12 Angry Men, the original. Stars Henry Fonda, Jack Klugman. Came out in 1957. And it is Spy Number 591. Next up, there's one person that didn't like this film, and that's you, Logan Toxic. Shame on you. And that is James Caan in Thief. So, yeah, Michael Mann directed it, and it's kind of like Drive. That's what I'm hearing about. Spy Number 691. Next up, Lars von Trier, and that is Antichrist. Pretty graphic, demented movie. As a lot of Lars von Trier movies are pretty graphic, and that is Antichrist, starring William Dafoe. Spy Number 542. 542, guys. Next up, French film, Blue is the Warmest Color. I know there's a Plain Archives, but wow, that's like triple the amount of this. This I think I only got around 14, 15 bucks. So Blue is the Warmest Color came out last year, 2013, and $6.95. Girl on girl action. Next up is a Yee Yee. It's a Japanese film. Pretty much, this kid just takes video on his camera and showing life. So, I'm assuming it's a coming of age. But this was in 2000, and it's Spy Number 339. When I got another movie starring Michael Fassbender, that is Hunger. Also, the director is Steve McQueen, who directed 12 Years a Slave. So that's Hunger. It's about a hunger strike in prison. Next up is The Double Life of Veronique. Don't know much about it, but I'm guessing she lives a double life. Came out in 1991, and this is spy number 359. Next up is a early 80s comedy, and that is Eating Raoul, 1982, and spy number 625. So, just by the title, you can kind of guess it's Eating Raoul. Next up is Three Women. I think I did see this on TV a while back. That Sissy Spacek, Shelley Duvall. Yep, kind of a thriller. Came out in 1977, and spy number 230. Yeah, all I remember is that these two, so it says Three Women, so maybe that's the surprise. Who's the third woman? Next up, Hidden Fortress. So, this is a 1958 film. And this is the film that George Lucas, I guess, was inspired to make Star Wars. This is Spine 116. Next up is a heist film, and that is Rafifi. So, this is in French, and can't go wrong with heist films. Heard this is a great one. Can't wait to check it out. Came out in 1955, and it is spy number 115. Wow, up to 800 Criterions. That's going to be expensive. 400 Blows. So, this is another French film. And it's just about childhood and what they do. So, came out in 1959. Spy number 5. Next up, Superman 55, or Superman 51, sorry. Recommended this, and that is Revanche. And this is kind of a Bonnie and Clyde type movie filmed in Austria, in the outdoors. So, love outdoors. Been to Alaska. This kind of reminds me of it. About halfway done, guys. Then we got George Washington. So, George Washington, not the president. It's about kids in the rural South just going through life and the troubleships of life. This came out in 2000, and spy number 152. Next up, another Japanese film. This is Still Waking. It's a family-oriented film, just going through the hardships and the joys of everyday life. And that is Still Walking. Came out in 2008, so fairly new. And that's spy number 554. Next up is House. Is it horror? Aaron Penn said it's just all over the place. Trippy movie, crazy movie. And I like those. 1977. Spy number 539. House. There's no doctor in this house. Next up is a Swedish film, and that is My Life as a Dog. Came out in 1985. Just a coming of age about a boy who moves on a farm and his mom is very sick. Spy number 176. Next up, on to the Digipacks. That is El Norte. So, brother and sister trying to flee Mexico and go up north. El Norte. This is a weak Digipack, by the way. Next up, I watched this last night, and that was Scanners. So, awesome, awesome Digipack. Yeah, David Cronenberg directed this. This is Spy number 712. Came out in 1981. Special effects, I guess it was good for its time, but to me it just seemed a little bit dated. I know 4K you really love this, but I don't know if I'm going to be watching this anytime soon. But that is Scanners. Beatles, love the Beatles, love their music. Hard Day's Night, looking forward to watching this. 1964, Spy number 711. Next up, Yoshihiro Ozu, Tokyo Story. Hearing great things about this. Black and white, 1957. Another movie about Japanese life. That is 217. Another David Cronenberg movie starring James Woods. That is Videodrome. And that came out in 1983. And that's Spy number 243. So, awesome Digipack. Heard it's a pretty trippy movie. Next up, Classic Marlon Brando. That's On the Waterfront. Came out in 1954. Spy number 647. So, I've yet to watch this, but looking forward to it. Akira Kurosawa's classic, Seven Samurai. This is highly recommended if you haven't seen a samurai film. Came out in 1954, and it's Spy number 2. Wow. Original Godzilla. 1954. 594. If you didn't like the recent one that was released this year, go watch this one, man. Can't beat the original. Next up, Richard Linklater's Slacker. So Kevin Smith was inspired by him. Similar type style, a lot of dialogue. Came out in 1991, and that's Spy number 247. Next up, King of the Hill. So King of the Hill, 1993. It's about the Great Depression, kids surviving, trying to survive in the Great Depression. Spy number 698. Next up, this is Billy Wilder's Ace in the Hole, starring a young Kirk Douglas. Came out in 1951. And that is Spy number 396. Can't wait to watch this film. Alright guys, on to my box sets. I got a 2-film set by Akira Kurosawa, and that is Yojimbo and Sanjuro. Yojimbo came out in 1961, and Sanjuro came out in 1962. Spy number 52 and 53. That's pretty convenient. Next up, I have the Qatsi trilogy. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it, but they're all Qatsi, something Qatsis. And this is pretty much just showing life and how technology has impacted it. So, there you have it. I got this because Logan Toxic recommended it. And the last one, we're at the 20-minute mark, so barely missed it. So French films, and that is the Blue, White, and Red Colors Trilogy. So I'm guessing this is all about pretty much the mood of the movie. Red for anger, white for happiness, and blue for sad. Films came out in 1993. One came out in 1994. There you have it. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to start watching Criterions. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please comment. Any ones that I missed. I do have my other Criterions up here, but as you can see, that's nothing compared to what I just picked up. Who knows? I got a week left to shop. So, comment if there's something that I did not get that you guys watched. Thanks for watching. This is the Blu-ray Hoarder signing off.